Today, we're going to go over 3 reasons why the Biden administration has been allowing millions of illegal migrants into the country over the last 3 years. It all has to do with the numbers and the Democrats' efforts to totally dominate power throughout the United States. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So, I was listening to Dan Bongino on Friday during his nationally syndicated radio show, where he brought up something that I wrote about some time ago. I think it's time to go over it again. A good number of Americans have been trying to figure out why Joe Biden has been letting millions upon millions of illegal immigrants into the interior of the country to roam around without fear of being deported. Many rightfully pointed out that the Democrats want to award the lawbreakers amnesty to make them citizens who have the right to vote in elections. Well, they're right, but there are more reasons that work together for the dark and evil goal of the Democratic Party. There are 3 main reasons why Biden and the Democrats are harming our country by allowing in what has been said to be over 10 million illegals over the last 3 years. Those 3 things are: they want the votes, they want the congressional seats, and they want the Electoral College, all in their favor. Now, for the votes, obviously the Democrats want the votes. In recent years, Black and Hispanic voters who have traditionally and overwhelmingly supported the Democratic Party have been switching over to the Republican Party because they realized that they spent decades listening to Democrats make promises to their communities that never came to fruition. Donald Trump kept his promises to their communities by creating policies that brought them wealth that they never knew before. Black and Hispanic unemployment rates went lower than at any time in the history of our country since we've been recording unemployment rate. More Black people moved from the lower class to the middle classes under the Trump administration, and the same goes for Hispanic families. Minority groups took an interest and learned that most Republicans believe in the same things Trump does, which is that the government should not be a hindrance to minorities being able to better their lives. Since those minority communities that were taken for granted by Democrats for years have left the party, the Democrats realized the need to replace them with new voters. Bringing in millions of illegals that they plan to give amnesty to does the trick. In November 2018, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer gave a speech where he opened America up to the idea of amnesty for millions of illegals that the Democrats continue to allow to stay in our country. Schumer's real goal was to change the way politics work in America, but he chose to talk about amnesty as a way to deal with failing birth rates. He said, now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing on its own with the same level that it used to be. Schumer went on saying, the only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them. Because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented immigrants. Amnesty is their solution, as if illegals can't have children unless they can vote. The 11 million illegals in the country is just an out-of-date lie. The Democrats have been pushing that number for decades now. It's always 11 million, 11 million. They want you to believe that there are an equal number of illegals leaving the country for every illegal who enters. You can't have million illegals on average come in each year and continue to claim that there are only 11 million in the country. There are at least 40 million illegals roaming our country. And that number is part of the Democrats' evil plan. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, he recently made an appeal to the American people from the well of the Senate, admitting that our military is having a recruitment problem. He conveniently left out that the Biden administration's policies are the reason why recruitment is low, but that didn't stop him from floating the idea that with all these illegals in the country, again, because of the Biden administration, they should be allowed to serve in our armed forces, and after 4 years of serving, they'd be awarded citizenship. Now, here he is, Dick Durbin, on the floor of the Senate, who had the balls to say this. Give it a listen.
Presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States.
Yeah, forget the millions of people who are coming in legally. Those fools. Notice how he called them undocumented. I am so sick and tired of that. Even if they had documents, they're illegal. They're illegal. Just say the word, illegal. And the Democrats want to reward the lawbreakers by giving them citizenship if they serve in the military. If they pass the exams and the physicals and all that. Think about that. So how many women and children are going to be chosen? Oh, well, there really are no women and children, are they? They're all military-age men. Isn't that something? How come nobody ever questions that? Where are the families that we hear about? Oh, you got to let the families in. Where the hell are they? There's no women and children. It's predominantly young military-age men. Now we move on to the second reason for congressional seats. In recent years, there has been a noticeable trend of Americans relocating from states traditionally governed by the Democratic Party, often referred to as blue states, to those predominantly under Republican leadership, commonly known as red states. This migration pattern appears to be largely one-directional, with fewer people moving from red states to blue states. I mean, why would they? Several factors contribute to this phenomenon, including perceptions of government, economic opportunities, and lifestyle preferences. In other words, blue states are shitholes, and you have not as much freedom there to do what you want to live as an American that you do in red states. Many people are choosing to move to red states in search of what they believe to be the most favorable living conditions and greater personal freedoms. This trend reflects a broader conversation about the political and social climate across the United States. But thanks to so many people migrating from blue to red states, the blue states have lost congressional seats since the 2020 census. And that just means that the red states have gained those congressional seats that were lost by the blue states. Congressional seats are determined by population. By having millions of illegals inhabit states across America, the Democrats are working on plans to get them all to migrate to the blue states exclusively. This is why California just passed a law that allowed the citizens of California to give away free health care to illegal aliens to live there. Once enough illegals are living in blue states, the Democrats will use their numbers to inflate the next census so that they get their congressional seats back. Federal and state grants are given and valued based on the census. Remember when the Democrats went toys in the attic batshit crazy when President Trump tried to have illegals removed from the census count because they are not legal citizens? Now you know why. And Chief Justice John Roberts gave that to the Democrats by allowing illegals to remain on the census. Just imagine the Democrats fought viciously for the right to use your hard-earned tax dollars as grants to states to pay for illegal aliens who don't belong there. And for the final one, number 3, it's for the electors of the Electoral College. The number of electors in the Electoral College is also determined by the census count. States get 1 elector per congressional seat plus 2 more for their senators. You get 2 senators per state. When a state loses an elector, that affects the importance of their state in presidential elections. For example, California lost a congressional seat after the 2020 census because so many people were running for freedom. That means they also lost an elector. Now, the conclusion here is what the Democrats are doing by allowing millions of illegals into the country is building an effort to gain total control of the United States by the numbers. Illegals should not be counted in the census because they are not citizens and do not have a legal status. Democrats argued successfully, again thanks to Justice Roberts, that the Constitution doesn't say that the census can only count citizens, and it doesn't. The fact that the Founding Fathers never mentioned citizenship in the census clause means they never thought that in the future we would have politicians so corrupt and so fucking low that they would resort to counting non-citizens for political power. Why would they craft a constitution for a new nation that would grant status to people who entered the country illegally solely for their numbers to be used for political gain? They wouldn't, and they didn't. All right, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share our videos with like-minded friends who want to stay informed with what's really going on. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.
Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece by piece, until I'm complete.